Hey guys, welcome back. I'm gonna go over the new updates to the Zim Matrix. I'm gonna go ahead and create a new Modern Warfare 3 profile real quick. That way, while this is loading, I can go over some things. You're gonna set this up exactly for your console or PC as needed. In this case, you'll see that there are several different things now. As a Sony Nav and mouse user, we would go with mouse and gamepad if you're using a keyboard. Mouse and keyboard obviously, and then you would output depending on your needs. So if you're a controller, obviously for the Xbox and PS4, PS5 would require you to do so via remote play and the wired Ethernet controller. PC, you can go as USB PC, and then you also kind of have this option to go mouse and keyboard, or all of the above for PC. This is for PC only. Alright, so the consoles are not able to do all of the above. Just a heads up. And I'm going to go ahead and output as PC, since that would be the most universal with most users, as just controller. It's very similar to these guys here. New, and while that's loading, let's take a look at the website real quick. If you haven't logged in a while, they have updated it and you will need to reset your password. If by any chance that does not work, you might need to create a new one and get in contact with the mods and let them know the email did not send to your original profile for some reason. For the beta, on the main page, if you just click it, it'll load you. You'll want to go Zim Matrix downloads, then beta, and the top one right here, 2024-01-14, and download the firmware and the manager. I do suggest you back up your settings with the firmware first, just in case you don't like it or you just need to make sure you have a backup. You could do it via the firmware, or you could go in the manager right now and just copy your bindings and save them somewhere if you don't have a lot, or if you prefer that method. Make sure you save it Google Keep or your text notepad, whatever. Alright, and in addition to that, the Zim also updated their guide, especially with the new smart actions and the workshop area here. Really a lot of useful things with this new updated user guide, especially scenarios you're trying to set up. Look at this auto fire, kind of gives you basics there. Recoil control, and they already have some basic things set up in regards to that. That way you could just paste it when you're adding a new smart action. All right, so let's go to the main page real quick now. So let's get inside the game, see if it's actually going to be able to read, because I just changed some things real quick. So right now, I think it's set up as keyboard. So we're going to have to change some things real quick just to make sure we can actually enable it. So when it comes to the Sony Nav and the G502, for the G502, you need to make sure to set up in Logitech Hub or whichever software they're using some of the keys. Otherwise, it will not be readable by the Matrix. For the Sony Nav, you have to make sure you plug in the physical cable first when you turn it on. Then once you unplug it, it should connect via Bluetooth. Alright, so when it comes to the game, as you can see here, it gives you the option to aim either with your mouse or if you're using a regular controller as well. I'm going to change this DPI to match mine, which I've set to 25,600. Alright, and for aim, I'm going to go with 20 for now here, and then 25 for this. Activation delay, I have this set to 0, and then for the in-game setting, I have it set to instant. Alright, so as you can see here, if we move the mouse, you can see that these two are already set, and then there's already automatic bindings that you don't have to put in. So these are the things you don't have to worry about. I'm gonna get rid of, I don't even have a right trigger, and the left trigger I have set up for something else. Gamepad patterns are also kind of pre-populated. You just don't see it here, but they are working. If I were to click X, it would show, see, that it is functioning. But I'm gonna customize things to how I have mine set up. So when it comes to the Sony Nav, this button here, I have it set to C, but it's essentially B or crouch. Add another button here, mouse forward button. I have that set to right thumbstick click. Then this back button here, I have that set to reload. And then for scroll up and middle mouse click, I set those for Y. Swap weapons. And the reason why I have a middle mouse click is that way I can actually hold it down if I need to. Versus scrolling. Add another one, this top. Usually this is for DPI. I have that set as G, but in this case that's right button. And then the lower one I'll need to add as well, and that's gonna be for LB. And then for scroll down, I have that set for LB and RB. Kind of use your special or whatever setup you have used for that. And then L1 on the nav, I have that set up as jump. And then the left trigger, I have that set up for LS thumbstick click because this button is basically dead, so I can't sprint with that anymore. And then the DualShock X here in front, I have that set, I believe this. And then the circle, I have that set as this. Let's save, let's see. And when it comes to the group names, we're going to be using several. Group A, this is typically, I label this as start because when you first load your configure profile, that is going to be the first one that loads. B, I'm going to have this as negative AA. And C is POS plus AA. Group D is rapid. Group E is rec. Rapid recoil control. These are the things that we're going to be using. Let's adjust the input modifier because you could see we don't really have enough buttons as it is to use groups. So we're going to need this middle button right here. That's going to be one of our modifiers to enable some extra functions for enabling the groups we have here. All right, so let's change this. Like I said, if you use a keyboard, you're going to have way more options when it comes to input modifiers. And you could change up things to exactly how you like, but we're going to go over how the setup works real quick, right? So, as you can see, L1 is jump. This is my sprint. L2, aim, Y. And then special is scroll down, so it clicks both instead of manually for each one. Everything's working. Reload here. And the reason why I choose Scrapyard is because there's this particular wall here that's easy to read when it comes to your bullets. See, easy versus this where it's kind of messy. See that? Not everything's kind of equal. Actually, that's pretty good too, but you don't have enough surface area for that. Alright, so we are going to be training the new SMG right here. And when it comes to the kind of the setting up, it's super easy. And what we're going to first do is change this to smart actions, and we're going to go ahead and train. And when it comes to this, you have to make sure you match it as close as possible. Right now, the new SMG doesn't have any statistics on the online database that you could probably find online in regards to RPM. So we're going to use the tool real quick. I believe it's somewhere around 900 to 800. So let's measure real quick. Okay, done. Let's measure again. $848. Done. Let's do it one more time. Let's reset. Measure. 880. Let's go with 880. Done. And when it comes to the bullets, typically you want a little bit of spread. That way you can actually count it. 2 is what I like to go with, and let's go on the wall. And what's important when you're doing the tracing is you do need to stay stationary, stay in your spot, don't move once you've shot. Alright, so let's give it a go. See, trace. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, when it comes to this, they say you should do it about 3 to 5 times, and you know the gun has sway, but I'm doing it as close as I can. Done. Let's do one. Actually, wait. Shoot first, and then trace it again. I'm gonna do 3 for this. And like I said, this is going to be for negative AA, because with the way Call of Duty works is if you're within the AA bubble, your recoil will be different, even though once we finish setting this up, it's going to look great compared to having no AA. Okay, so let's press done. We'll take a look at it to see how it functions. Look at some more bullets while we're at it. Alright. That looks pretty strong to me. Kind of goes down a little bit near the end and to the right. So let's see. Adjust it slightly. 10. Let's try 10, 10. It's probably the RPM we have wrong. That's why it's not steering clear until it kind of starts trailing. So it's probably a little higher when it comes to that. But like I said, this is just a rough estimate of how this works. We'll go ahead and accept that for now. Actually, let's see. This is going to be... We'll assign this to negative AA. Turn that off. Alright, so we're going to set up some more additional buttons right now of how we're going to be able to enable that recoil control. I have mine set to my right mouse button. Alright, and with an input modifier of the DualShock controller here. And what I'm going to do is enable this group when we're setting it up. And probably just wondering like, okay, what kind of setup do we need for that? So we're going to go ahead and select, I guess in this case, for this one it would actually be, we'll put this as actually negative AA, enable the positive AA. And what we also want to do is change this to press, because there's a particular function that I need. I want to disable everything else after, like rest. Alright. Then we need to add another button. We're going to be another, in this case, another mouse left button. This is just a regular mouse left, and this is going to be under start. So I'll explain a little bit more of why we're setting this up, but this is how we're going to be able to kind of activate and deactivate certain scenarios that we need for this to work properly. Mouse left button. So this is going to be the other modifier that we are using, the DualShock PS controller. And then for this one right here, you also need to change this to press. And for this, we are going to be enabling rapid recoil and rapid. So enable rapid and enable rapid recoil. And then for this one, we could actually have this disable the rest. We need to adjust this particular one. It's actually not rest for this. That's actually be a set. Alright, so cycle group, and this is a set that we want to make sure to kind of disable everything else afterwards. Then close this. Down button on the PS Nav controller. This is going to be really important for us. And for this one here, I want to press again, and I want this during ADS only. And this is going to be cycle group next. And another one, this is going to be the left D-pad, and this is going to be how we it's our default, where we want to disable everything just in case something breaks. At least we can get everything working properly again. So again, press, and then for this one, enable group, start. Save it real quick, and then we're gonna go ahead and add our rapid fire. When it comes to the rapid fire, you want to make sure that you do not you don't want to make it go where it's going too fast, because you are going to get shadow banned to the next level easily. You will disappear, or you'll probably get a warning and get yourself banned for real. Right, so mouse left button, this is going to be RT 100%, and then you want to put weight, and you could find what the RPM you should be using, but for me, I like to have some consistency without enabling variance. So for this one, 70 RT 0, then we're gonna go with weight, let's go with 65 RT 100% again, weight, let's go with 68, or actually go with 69, RT 0, weight, then let's go with 66, and then RT again, 100%, then weight, and RT 0, and then weight, go with 67. And like I said, this is gonna be for rapid, and we don't want this active throughout, not just ADS. All right. Then for the recoil control, this is going to be an interesting one, because I think for recoil control, when it comes to rapid fire, at least when it comes to most weapons in Call of Duty, I feel like it's minimal. Right now, there's no way to set up easily with the recoil workshop. You could try, but it kind of gets iffy, just because it doesn't allow you to set up a rapid fire for it, at least not right now. I'm waiting for that. Let's see, aim magnitude, I think it really doesn't need to be heavy. 4.2, and then when it comes to the aim angle, straight down 180 is really all you need. Like I said, rapid. This is going to be rapid recoil. You want this active, right? Let's take a look down here what we have so far. Next, and then we need a way to be able to swap that as well. So the down button is going to be our swapping. We need to change this to press again, and this is going to enable us to toggle the rapid recoil. Alright, so let's take a look real quick in game, just to make sure everything is working for what we've set up so far, which is almost everything. Almost. Alright, so if we press RDS and left, that basically changes everything to start. If you press the PS Nav button with the left, that's our rapid recoil. See that? I'll disable it again. I'll disable it. Disabled. Right. Let's get some more ammo. Enable it again. If I can disable the recoil on this. Disabled it. Enable. Disable. And we need to do another recoil control setup, and this time it's going to be for positive aim assist. Now if you have somebody, a friend, that can go in the map with you, that is going to be the best method, but I'm going to show you how to set it up. If for some reason you can't have somebody with you, it'll be fine. We'll make it work. So change this one to positive, and we're gonna create another one real quick. 30. Oh man, I can't remember what it was. Was it 881? Let's try 900. I said we should have the proper number soon once the databases are updated, but I'm gonna change this to 900 for now. Alright, then change this to 2. Done. Alright, let's check it out. Alright, so now it's in the optimize mode. We are not going to optimize this yet. Even though it kind of looks good for the most part, we're going to back out and actually leave this area, because we need to go to where there's dummies. But if you have a friend with you, what you would ultimately do is you would have them stand in the middle. You would shoot to their left and to their right to set this up for recoil control when there's AA. So left and right, and then you would have them crash and then like aim above them, and you would trace that. But since we don't have anybody right now, you would go into the gun range. So we're gonna back out of this area real quick. All right. Yes. And I'll show you exactly what we're trying to do. So essentially, it's just the way how the game functions. It's a little weird. Of if you try to aim with how we set up our recoil control for that wall, it will throw it off. And a scenario that happens is if you're missing the bubble, that means the enemy's too far, or you're shooting too fast before you hit the AA bubble. Those are the scenarios that typically happens, and that's what you need to account for and need to be able to adjust real quick. Alright. Alright, so let's go in here. So we are going to be going with, like I said, it's going to be the new gun, basically the HRM. I mean, I really don't have it set up optimally. Let's go to Gunsmith. Let's play with it. Alright, so like I said, I left the trace up. Right, I did not leave the workshop, because this is where we are going to fine-tune this. This is the real important part of fine-tuning it. So you need to go to one of the dummies and shoot to their left. Like I said, remember, we set this up where it functions pretty well, right? Take a look at that now. Aim to the left of this dummy and it's not going to shoot properly. See that? It's going top left. So we need to adjust for that. Because if you shoot at them, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to be terrible. See that? That's not optimal. Even though if you shoot at the wall, it's basically perfect, right? So we need to optimize that. Otherwise, you're going to have issues trying to shoot when you're within the AA bubble. Alright, so take a look at what it's doing. It's going up, left. Actually, let's change it to 2 again. Kind of curious. That's where we want it. Alright, so like I said, you're gonna need to play with that scale refinement. As you can see, when we're in the AA bubble now, it's way better than what it used to be. But if you look at an area where it doesn't have AA, it's definitely way different now. But when you were inside the bubble, it's amazing. That's what you want. If you, like I said, if you go to if you went to the training earlier in a custom game mode, if you have your friend, it's easier to train this when you're shooting to the left, to the right, and to the middle, versus going there to trace it and then going in here to refine it, because this is still kind of messy, but it's way better. All right, so let's accept this for now. All right, so remember, this is for post AA, positive AA. Remember that? So if you take a look here, we have several setups now. Okay, several. So we have our basically recoil control. Actually, we need to add another button real quick for start because we got rid of it. So left mouse button, and that's just RT, and this is gonna be for start because we kind of got rid of it. Otherwise, you won't have anything. So let's go everything over we just did. If we are trying to revert back to just regular, you have to press right thumbstick and left. That'll allow us to get everything back. Because why do we have that? Because look at this. Right ADS and left on the D-pad gives us back to start. And it disables rapid recoil. It disables all the recoil control. So the gun behaves exactly how it's supposed to be. Alright. Now let's enable positive recoil control with our gun. Right? So as you can see, for us to enable it, you press the essentially the PS Nav and then the right mouse button. That's going to enable this. Alright, take a look. See? Now it's enabled. And to disable it, I just press down. See? Now we could go change kind of between. Oh wait, no, I didn't set that up properly. I'm gonna have to fix that real quick, because it's doing a rapid recoil control, which is not correct. Rapid recoil control, they should only be grouped with rapid. That way it doesn't mess up with our settings, and during ADS only. Same thing with this guy here. ADS only. Alright, so let's go back here. So if you want to disable everything, left. That disables everything. If I want to enable my positive AA recoil control, right? And then if I want to disable it when there's no AA, enable no AA. If I want to enable my rapid fire, and then if I want to disable the recoil control, but it's still rapid fire, right? So here it is with rapid fire. That's without recoil control. Now I'm going to add recoil control to this. See that? I'm going to go back to default everything. Everything is default. I'm going to enable my positive recoil control. See? Like I said, this is with positive recoil AA. This is what it looks like if you're not, you know, with an AA bubble. Now I'm gonna swap it to when there's no AA bubble. That's important for when you're at a distance. That's when you are able to swap it right away. Let's say a target is way in a distance, or maybe they're behind cover. You might need to quickly change to not having AA, and then all of a sudden once they're within AA, you could swap it. So that's really important. Like I said, if you could set up the AA bubble with somebody in in gaming training mode, that's better than trying to do it after tracing and then going in here. Watch, I'm gonna turn everything off real quick so you could see what it looks like with everything off, what the aiming would be like with everything off. This is with it off. Alright, there's definitely a lot. I purposely put no stock, and there's a lot of recoil on this gun for you to be able to control it. Right, so I think that's I can't even hit this guy in the back here. That's how difficult it is, like 31%. And then let's enable our recoil control, right, with positive AA. Way easier. And that's basically it, guys. So like I said, this is how you would set it up. I'm gonna go back out so you could see what the changes are in game when I'm enabling, disabling settings. I'm gonna put everything to the starter mode, right? Look, start. That's starter mode. I'm gonna put it to AA recoil control, positive AA plus, and then I'm gonna disable it when there's no AA, right? And then I'm gonna put rapid fire on. Rapid fire without recoil control. Rapid fire on with recoil control, and then without. That without. Put it with. And that's basically the setup there when it comes to the game.